Hello, parents and guardians. I'm Miss Fontanet, your child's intensive reading teacher. I work closely with your child's language arts teacher and follow the language arts curriculum. Intensive reading provides your child an opportunity to receive extra support with reading comprehension strategies in a small group setting. I follow the language arts scope and sequence, emphasizing the reading skills that they're working on in their language arts class. Let me start by sharing that on Google Classroom, you will find under the Classwork tab titled Week 1 Intro and Setup, Class Essentials, Pertinent Information for Intensive Reading. This is where students are able to easily locate the course syllabus, which includes the course learning targets, assessment and grading, and late work policy. You'll also find our bell schedule, an online dictionary, Mr. Nussbaum grammar games and activities, and our Dragons on the Go form, which needs to be filled out every time students leave our classroom. Let me start by stating that students will be working from their current reading level with the ultimate goal of reading grade level text with fluency and comprehension. Our targets focus on reading with fluency and accuracy, building academic vocabulary, recognizing and spelling words correctly, utilizing technology for academic purposes and assessments, reading and comprehending grade-level complex text independently with confidence and fluency in other content areas such as history, science, and mathematics. We work in small groups through a 2-day rotational model to ensure that we get maximum time with direct instruction in a small group setting with social distancing. The other two parts of the rotational model include independent work with the Reading Plus computer program. So while I'm working in a small group, the other students are either working on Reading Plus or an assignment targeted at their instructional needs. By the end of the week, everyone will have met me in a group, worked on Reading Plus, and also have completed their individual assignments. Reading Plus is a web-based reading intervention program that uses technology to provide individualized scaffolding, silent reading practice for students. Reading Plus aims to develop and improve students' silent reading fluency, comprehension, and vocabulary. Students have until Sunday to complete their 2 weekly required lessons for our class. I implement the Teengagement Reading Instructional Model for middle school, also known as RIM. I use the curriculum materials provided by RIM through the Palm Beach School District. Our lessons always begin with the grammar activity warm-up. While I've been uploading the grammar activities for students up until now, I actually printed out the books for them to have in class. I find it's easier for them to be able to go back and look through the activities we've completed. Going back online isn't as easy as just going back a few pages in a book or a packet. Typically, we build on the grammar structures, so being able to easily go back helps them greatly. Up to date, we have focused on the different types of nouns: proper, common, compound, and pronouns: personal, reflexive, intensive, demonstrative, etc. While I won't test students on these grammar structures, I want them to be familiar with them. It's a great way for us to get started with our lessons for the day. After the warm-up, we begin our lesson with the prior base knowledge, activity, or anticipation guide, where students can make predictions of the text we're about to read. We also focus on making connections with what we are reading, thereby making it more relatable and interesting or engaging for them. I always want students to input, and I encourage them to speak up and share their ideas and questions always. I want to add that all students were required to have a reading book at all times. I have a checkout log where all my students have written down the book that they're currently reading solely for their personal enjoyment. I ask them all to share with me their thoughts on the books that they're reading and if they recommend it. I want students to fall in love with reading, not just feel that it's a course requirement. I have books in my classroom, and those who don't have one were asked to borrow one. So your child should be reading a book, ask them. So upon completion of the class assignment, students can choose to read their book or work on Mr. Nussbaum grammar games located in Class Essentials in Google Classroom, as I mentioned earlier. I would like to add that while we are reading in class, we are also a social emotional learning environment. That's a huge component to my class environment. I work diligently to make sure that all of my students feel that they're in a supportive and safe environment for learning. As a classroom environment, we strive every day to be supportive of one another and build each other up, while understanding that excellence is an attitude and making mistakes is a huge part of learning. I want your child to have all the confidence in the world when they walk into my classroom and believe that they can achieve any goal that they set for themselves through hard work and perseverance. I would also like to share that I had your child complete a goal sheet for the school year in my class. On the sheet, they were able to list their strengths and weaknesses and what they feel they would like to focus on for the academic school year. These goals might be gaining greater vocabulary, making less spelling errors, reading more books, etc. Your child and I will be conferencing frequently to make sure that they're staying on track to meet those goals. Please know that I'm always available to conference with you, and I cannot stress how much I value our partnership in your child's education. I wish you all a wonderful evening and an excellent school year. Thank you. Bye.